With the overseas launch of Smash on the 3DS, the only thing harder than not talking about it is putting it down. So basically, after playing it for the first 3 days, I thought I'd share my initial thoughts with everyone while I continue to play the game, and yes, I will be making a review after I've sunk some more hours and days into it. To make it easier on myself to get this out there as quickly as I can so I can go back into the For Glory mode, I decided to do it in a small list of 5 things that I love and 5 things that bother me about Smash on the 3DS. You know, keep it balanced. This won't be done in the usual way I do my lists. I'm just going to try and go through this as fast as I can here so both of us can go back to playing Smash. I'm also going to leave out any of the changes I wanted to make in that list I made, as that would be an instant number 1. I mean, there's just so many things that I love, and I can't believe they actually made so many of these changes. But yeah, I love all the changes they made that I asked for, so don't forget that. One more thing, from here on out in my Smash videos there will be spoilers. Fair warning.
5.
Smash Run, even by myself, can be pretty addictive. Seeing how fast I can power up in 5 minutes, trying to discover everything I can in this huge space, collecting as many custom parts as I can, and then taking on the final challenge! Race, fight, climb, team battles, 300%, etc. The challenges and the enemies are random every time, giving it a mysterious feel to it that keeps me coming back for more! I only wish it had an online function for it.
4.
I don't know about you, but sometimes it's the little things that I can appreciate. For me, it's the fact that the replays can now be saved even if they go over 3 minutes this time. How long can it be? I'm not sure, but it's longer than 5 minutes, so that's a win for me! Those times where I missed a great moment because the match went on for too long is not a worry anymore. And it certainly makes it easier to keep the 3DS still while recording with a camera, that's for sure.
3.
Remember when you could grab a character with King DDD or Falco over and over again, or grab the ledge before your opponent could, preventing them from getting back on the stage? Not anymore, you can't! With 2 of the cheapest techniques no longer there, you'll have to find something else, and after what I've seen from playing against a skilled Sheik and Rosalina and Luma player, I think you'll be just fine. But I'm just glad those things are dead. I never liked them in the slightest and never used them. I never liked getting cheap victories.
2.
I feel like there are only a handful of stages I've liked this time. Balloon Fighter, Magic-Hand, Gerudo Valley, and those are the only ones I can think of at this moment. All the other stages either don't wow me, or don't make me want to come back. And then we have Final Destination mode, and it works on every 3DS stage, so picking a stage is a little easier when all I have to do is press a button and wait for a stage. For the record, I am looking forward to the new stages on the Wii U version, like the new Star Fox level. That's gonna be fun.
1.
At the core of Smash, it's about who you enjoy playing as, and it's evident that many of the old characters were training themselves to be better this time. For the ones I have put in the most time with so far, Sonic and DK feel better than ever, especially Sonic. He really feels like a threat this time. Meanwhile, the new characters can hold their own, with my favorites being Mega Man, Pac-Man, and I'm trying to master Shulk and Greninja. They're taking a bit more time for me to get the hang of. I plan to get the hang of everyone, or at least as many characters as I can, such as Palutena, Bowser Jr., and Duck Hunt. So far, I'm loving the cast and how they play, even if I need more time with them, and I really hope DLC will give me more to love, as that's pretty much all but confirmed at this point. But sadly, I did find some small annoyances with the game so far, and I'm going to bring them up out of curiosity to see if anyone else feels the same way.
5.
I'm kinda grasping at straws here, and that was just to make sure that the list felt even on both sides. But I do find the lack of events a bit questionable. I enjoyed all those crazy challenges the game gave me before, and for them to not show up gives me that missing feeling. I guess there was just no room for them, or they figured it wouldn't suit the 3DS. I do hope the Wii U version makes up for that.
4.
Remember that old saying, no items, Fox only, Final Destination? Well, get ready for the new one, For Glory, one-on-one, Little Mac only. For the first 2 days, I saw a majority of players use Little Mac in this mode, and it wasn't even part of the Conquest feature. Yeah, he is a terror on the ground, and For Glory definitely caters to him, but with no platforms and no hazards to get in the way. It's hard for me to argue against that, as I enjoyed playing as him, but for a little while, he was the only character I was seeing, and that's boring to me. Nobody was picking anybody else but him for a while. In fact, I almost stopped using him because of this, and I know that sounds spiteful and stupid, but when I do play as him, it's because I like using him because he's fun, not to get an automatic victory.
3.
There's a lot to do in Smash on the 3DS. That's good. But you can unlock all of the characters in about 30 minutes. That's bad. There's a lot of other things to unlock, like trophies and challenges and stages, but let's be honest, the best reward in the game is getting that brand new character. Melee and Brawl could take almost a week to get everyone, and it felt like you really accomplished something, or could take a sigh of relief knowing you finally unlocked everyone. But this time it's more like, wait, that was it? I was just getting started! Guess I'll go do the events. Where did the events go?
2.
Some say Brawl had annoying voices in the game, and while that may be true, they were at least consistent, you know, never sounding like someone else or having the wrong voice. I can't really say the same here. Some characters like Ike were recycled from Brawl, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Ganondorf had many of his old lines reused, but there were some new ones that sound as if it was done by somebody else. But the worst case offender by far is Fox. I was in that video on WeDude's channel and they were saying Fox was terrible, and at that point I didn't hear what Fox sounded like, but after hearing it, I disagree. It's not terrible, it's atrocious. I haven't used that word in a while. I've heard it's the same guy who did his voice in Star Fox 64 and the remake, but there is no way this is the same guy. It just can't be. It sounds nothing like him. Fox sounds very nasal and high-pitched and way too young in this game, and that's hard for me to play as him because of it. And I really hate to say that, but that's how I feel. This is not a voice that fits Fox at all. Though to be fair, it really does seem like many of the new voices and lines were done with one take and no do-overs.
1.
Simply put, the circle pad can never come close to being as good as a control stick. There have been times where I wanted to do an up special, but a side special happened in its place, causing me to die. And it happened to many other players as well, so I know I'm not the only one who's been affected by this. And yes, I have heard of the guy who found a way to get a GameCube controller to work for this, but think about it, this is supposed to be when you're on the go. You would have to carry that with you the whole time, and holding it and the 3DS is kind of impossible, so what was the convenience of that again? Once the Wii U version comes out, it'll be hard to come back to this. Yeah, I know, not the usual list format I do, but I wanted to get this video out so I could go back to playing Smash as quickly as I could, and I really wanted to get some of my thoughts out there. So what's your take on the game so far? Do you agree with anything I've said, or have some different entries of your own? I'd like to hear them. For the record, my Wi-Fi has been pretty good with the game, even with 4 players at the same time. I've encountered a few laggy moments, but for the most part, it's been pretty solid on my side. Alright guys, I'm getting back to the game because I can't stay away from it for too long, which is going to make doing that review all the more painful. Later everyone, and happy smashing!